The idea is that everybody should have access to automation, and this can come in a number of different forms. So you could have our UiPath Assistant, which I know we'll talk more about, on your computer, running automations on your behalf. You can have the ability to offload some of your tasks to unattended robots. You can contribute to your automation practice by giving ideas, by voting, by being part of a community. So Robot for Every Person, really at its core, is about changing the way that we work in order to bring the robots into our daily lives and to function at a higher level.
So, Brandon, when you talk about bringing robot to every person, there are a lot of different types of people in the organization. We've heard of citizen developers, automation users. What do those terms mean? Who are the users? Who are the people that use robots?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's break them down into three categories. We can start with our automation users. And these are the people that encompass every role, every operation within an organization. Everyone can be the beneficiary of automation and consume automations. Next, we have our producers. And our producers can be broken out into a couple different groups. We've got our citizen developers who have no coding experience. They don't want to learn code, but they want to be able to automate their tasks. Next, we have our power users. Maybe they've had a coding class in the past, or maybe they're just very savvy and have learned to write some macros on their own. These are the folks that will help write automations for a department, let's say. And then we have our RPA developers. And this is the group that we have today, we've had for quite some time, professional developers. They understand architecture, they understand enterprise rollouts. These are the folks that are writing often unattended automations, but may write attended automations as well. And finally, we've got our COE, which is really part of our control group, because as you bring all of these different roles to fruition and implement these programs, you need controls, you need governance. And that's something we're going to talk about more as well. And it's something that our customers are asking for in spades right now.
Yeah, I love that. So consumers, creators, controllers. It's 3 C's, helps me understand exactly what the types of users are. So now when you think about those personas, what are the technologies that are involved that help them do their jobs, help them work with robots?
The important thing to remember, and every time Param talks about the end-to-end solution, I get really excited, because you start with the process understanding, you end with the measurement of everything that you've understood and you've implemented. And when we talk about a robot for every person, it's important to understand that the foundation of this vision and what really makes this possible is this end-to-end solution that is a strong foundation, right? Anyone who's ever built anything knows if you have a bad foundation, you're not going to last long, right? And this is no different. So at the top of the stack, let's say, we've got 3 products right now: StudioX, UiPath Assistant, and Automation Hub, that are, let's say, at the front lines of a robot for every person. These are the things that people will be interacting with the most. But those 3 products are built and supported and backed by this end-to-end solution that makes that possible.
So perfect. That sounds like a great segue to a demo. Let's roll the demo to see a robot for every person in action.
Let's look at how UiPath is rebooting work with our vision for a robot for every person. UiPath Assistant, StudioX, and Automation Hub are 3 of the products that make our vision of a robot for every person a reality. Let's see how they work together to fundamentally change the way we look at work. UiPath Assistant is software that runs locally on your computer. It's like a mini you that can do everything from managing your calendar to filing complex tax returns. In this example, I'm an HR manager, and I start every day with an inbox full of resumes. Matching candidates to job openings is time-consuming and boring. Now imagine that I have my own personal robot assistant to handle this while I focus on more valuable and urgent work. My day starts with a reminder that my assistant is ready to review new resumes. When I start the process, the assistant launches a new copy of my desktop so I can carry on with my tasks without losing my mouse and keyboard. As the robot reviews each resume, it finds the best matching positions and sends an email response. If something unexpected happens, like an extra email attachment, I can take over the robot's desktop and choose the best document for the review. Then I can go back to my work. Once the robot finishes, I can see the sent emails with personalized job matches for each candidate. Now that you've seen how to work with a robot assistant, let's look at creating my own personal automations with StudioX. StudioX gives people with no coding experience the ability to automate their tasks. Here's how it works. Every day, I onboard new employees. As part of the process, I download an Excel file, then visit a website to create a temporary password for each new hire. To automate this, I'll use StudioX to tell the robot to open the Excel spreadsheet. From here, the StudioX recorder will observe how I create a new password without me writing any code. Then, I'll tell the robot to save the password back to the temporary password column in the spreadsheet. Finally, I'll want to review the emails before they are sent in case I want to add a personal note. I'll show the robot how to create an email draft with the personalized password we just created for each new hire. Now, let's see our automation in action. When I click Run, the robot starts working. Once it is done, we can see it filled the Excel spreadsheet with a password for each new hire and created the draft emails for my review. Now let's take a look at how all of these automations are managed within my company. Automation Hub is where your company collaborates to define and build innovative new automations. In the previous onboarding example, after I'm finished in StudioX, I want to share with others in my department so they can be more effective also. I can submit my automation for approval from my Center of Excellence, or COE. I can even suggest new ideas for the COE to build for me. After I provide all the information, the COE will review and assess my entry and the StudioX file and then distribute it to other HR managers after seeing that it meets their governance standards. Once the COE has approved and distributed my automation, I will see it added to my UiPath Assistant, and I can now run that automation at the beginning of my day, just like I did for the resume reviewer. Now you've seen how a few of the products in the 20.4 release come together to bring a robot for every person to life.